Cordillera is Spanish for an extensive chain of mountains or mountain ranges. It comes from cordilla, which means little cord or cuerdas, like our cuerdas ng gitara or guitar string. Spanish conquistadores must have used the term Cordillera to refer to this region in northern Luzon because it is traversed by chains of mountains which look like little cords, an area which they just could not conquer despite many attempts. The cultures of the Cordillerans are one of the oldest and remain the most preserved and distinct. The mountains helped the Cordilleras of old from the occupation of the conquering Spaniards. The Americans also recognized Cordillera as a distinct region. It is the people of the Cordillera, now and then, who address themselves according to the tribe or clan, like the Ipayao, or from the Payao or terraces, Ilaud, or from the west, Ifugao, or Ipugo, which means people of the earth. Cordillerans in the mid-20th century formed Bibak, which stands for Benguet, Ifugao, Bontoc, Apayao, Kalinga. Bibak remains the biggest Cordilleran group in the world. Under President Ferdinand Marcos, the Cordillera was divided. Abra, Mountain Province, and Benguet, including Baguio City, were lumped with the Ilocos region, while the provinces of Ifugao, Kalinga, and Apayao were under the Cagayan Valley region. The Cordillera was the source of forest and mineral products. Primarily, it was the search for gold which lured the Spaniards and the Americans to these parts. Cordillera is also the watershed of the north, the source of the major rivers and dams in Luzon. The seed of autonomy was spawned from the struggles of the Cordillerans to be recognized as a distinct people. The call for autonomy rang as clear as the gongs of protest during the Marcos years. In the struggle to save the forest from the clear-cutting operations of the Celluphil Resources Corporation and to protect the farm and ancestral lands of the Kalingas from the Chico River Basin Project. Land is life was the clamor of the Cordillera martyr Macliing Dulag, a peace pact holder who was killed for opposing the Chico Dam. In an effort to quell insurgency in 1986, President Aquino sent her men, including Defense Secretary Fidel Ramos, to dialogue with the Cordillera Bodong administration and the Cordillera People's Liberation Army, which just split from the New People's Army. In that famous sipat or exchange of tokens at the Mount Data Inn to signify the start of peace talks, the Mount Data Peace Accord of 1986 was forged between the government and the CBOD and the CPLA led by its charismatic chief, Father Conrado Balweg. Also, the Philippine Constitution was newly ratified in February 1987, and among the new provisions was the establishment of autonomous regions in Muslim Mindanao and in the Cordillera. The Cordillera People's Alliance was among those who lobbied for autonomy in the Constitution. In July 1987, President Aquino issued Executive Order 220 creating the Cordillera Administrative Region or CAR to administer the affairs of regional government, to accelerate socio-economic growth and development and prepare the region for autonomy. EO 220 also created the Cordillera Executive Board to serve as executive arm with the Cordillera Bodong Administration as a special commission under it and the Cordillera Regional Assembly to serve as a policy-making body. Thus, the Aquino government acknowledged the need for autonomy to bring peace and development in the Cordillera.
Datayo nga nakabasa ijay i-020. Talo ti main purposes na data. Number 1, administer the affairs of government in the region.
Upon the organization of the autonomous region, the line agencies and offices of the national governments shall be devolved to the regional government with their budgetary allocations for personnel and operation.
Number 2, accelerate economic and social growth and development of the units of the region.
Autonomy for some is quite new, but legally and politically speaking, it is not. Because now we have local government unit autonomy as provided under the local government code.
And number 3 purpose niya, prepare for the establishment of an autonomous region in the Cordillera.
The stage was all set for Cordillera autonomy. However, successive organic acts for the Cordillera Autonomous Region were rejected in plebiscites held January 13, 1990, and again in March 1998. In July 2000, President Joseph Estrada signed an executive order winding up operations of the CEB, CRA, and CBOD. There was a feeling then that these bodies were deactivated because they failed to prepare the region for autonomy. To feel the need for administrative governance, President Gloria Arroyo signed Executive Order 30 on July 30, 2001, creating the Regional Development Council, or RDC, as development coordinator of the region. The RDC is composed of top local chief executives, regional line agency heads, civil society leaders, and representatives of private sectoral groups. The RDC also served as the forum where local efforts can be linked with the national development agenda. The RDC is a professional and technical working group. It is mandated to advance the socio-economic and cultural development of the region by directing convergence on key focus areas.
Many people understand development as, of course, an improvement. You develop, you improve, you change for the better. And in fact, we would wish that when an area is developed, nag-improve tibiyat ti tao ijay region. No? That is what we want.
RDC decided to renew the pursuit for autonomy during the strategic planning workshop in March 2006, again at the historic Mount Data Hotel. RDC members believed an autonomous government in line with provisions of the Philippine Constitution will bring about meaningful development for the Cordillera. To give it a third try, the RDC must learn from the failed attempts. In 2007, the RDC did a baseline survey on the readiness for regional autonomy. More than half of the respondents were aware of the constitutional provisions for Cordillera autonomy, and 3/4 knew about EO 220. Awareness, however, is not equal to approval. In the same survey, asked how they would vote if a similar plebiscite would be held, only a fifth said yes. It was worth noting that majority would change their no to yes if the contents of the Organic Act will be explained clearly, if the contents of the new Organic Act would be acceptable, if the local governments can prove that they can deliver basic public services better than central government, if credible people will campaign for autonomy, and if there would be transparency in the drafting of the new Organic Act. This means that the people hunger for more information on regional autonomy and their apprehensions have to be cleared.
Hanya mabalin yung may sayang ka, ti local government. Ti may nga plano. Nusan nyo man nato, iti kapanumutan di.
That while we acknowledge diversity of cultures among provinces and tribes, the fact is we are all into this customary thing. We have indigenous laws, and that fact should be a good push, good ground to push for the agenda of autonomy.
Where you need a structure that goes beyond village decision making, because you have to act together. You will have to decide together, you have to plan together, and you have to organize together.
The RDC is also exploring other options such as amendment of EO 220 through Congress and amendment of EO 30 through a presidential issuance. The Autonomy campaign is also on track with the major goals of the medium-term regional development plan. The last focus, cultural integrity, can result to greater recognition and appreciation of the region's diverse cultural heritage. The strength of Cordillera, after all, lies in its cultural heritage, one factor not emphasized in past autonomy campaigns.
Tatipigsa tayo, kati panagkaygaysan ti Cordillera. Noon na doon tayo, dahil dati strength tayo. Nung nakasayan ti probinsya ti Cordillera, kaya, dahil dati kaya ti national. Gusto tang magidwa kayo. Malaklaka nga mapuspusipos urek bigmasit. Nalaklaka nga madinay. Nung amin tayo, napigpig sa tipukaw. Araminan tayo, nukas ano, ti autonomiya, katriyaw, titataw.
Regional autonomy means that powers, functions, duties, and responsibilities of national government would be transferred or devolved to a regional autonomous government along with financial resources and enabling administrative control. The quiet success of the RDC has shown that regional autonomy can be possible without funfair. Mountain Province and Ifugao, formerly among the poorest provinces nationwide, have since graduated from the so-called Club 20 and are on their way to prosperity. The Cordilleran warrior of old has been known for being courageous, going to war if their lives, their kin, and their clan were in danger. The new Cordilleran warrior is armed with knowledge and technical know-how and in consonance with other Cordillerans. He is ready to protect the community birthright from being considered a mere resource base by other groups. Cordillera means little cord, and this little cords would have to unite to make itself invincible. All of us should know what's good for us and our region. It is our duty to know more about autonomy. Participate in the debate and contribute your ideas on how to make autonomy work for us. The time for autonomy is now.